Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 172 of Crunch Time. I'm going to be your host for today's episode. I am Tanner Dislin, and as always, I am joined by Sam Godsey. We are the M32620. Sam, how are we doing today?
I am doing good, Tanner. My Thunder are going to be playing in the NBA championship. We got the Hogs playing well in the College World Series. It's a good time.
Good time to be Sam. Unfortunately, we did not get the Crunch Time NBA Finals like we had hoped. The Knicks do fall to the Pacers in 6 games. Of course, we'll have more on that coming up. But I guess, the Mets just swept the Rockies. That's pretty good.
Oh, who hasn't done that? The Yankees.
The Yankees have not. Yeah, that is very correct. But that pushed them to 37-22. So they're tied with the Cubs for the best record in the National League.
There you go.
So maybe we can have an all Crunch Time NLCS.
There you go. That'd be lit.
Who would be the 1 and 2 seeds if the playoffs started today? Of course, we are still only 37-22. That's 59. That is about a third of the way through. So
we're getting there.
A lot of ball to play. A lot of ball to play. And last year, obviously, the Mets were on to make the NLCS last year. They were at this point last year about 10 games under 500. So the season can flip on an absolute dime. Just introduce a McDonald's mascot and things will go crazy. But before we get into the Eastern Conference Finals, and of course, another Give Me Five. Stay tuned for this one. This one's sure to be a interesting one. A lot of potential options here. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but a lot of potential options. But I'm sure, we'll have some overlap because that always seems to happen. But before we get into all that, we will have our winners and losers. So, Sam, hit me with your winner of the week.
Yeah, man. Normally, we kind of focus on one thing, one person, one player. This sport deserves to be a winner this week, and that is college baseball. The College World Series started either last week or this week. It has been absolute chaos,
right?
The regionals, yeah. It has been absolute chaos. Number 12, Oregon, who ended up being the Big Ten regular season champs, lost to Utah Valley and Cal Poly. Oklahoma State walked off number 7 Georgia Bulldogs after Georgia was up 9-7 entering the ninth. UTSA beat the number 2 seed Texas 7-4, and they actually swept the Austin Regional. East Carolina beat Florida 11-4. And 2 of the biggest stories, Little Rock, shout out the hometown, beat LSU 10-4. Now, the interesting part about this is they were actually 19-32 in the regular season, but went on to win the Ohio Valley Conference tournament to get in.
Wow.
So
Cinderella in the Ohio Valley.
They actually are forced a rematch with that win for the trip to Super Regionals tonight, so you'll know the result of that game.
And tonight is Monday.
Tonight is Monday. Correct. And then the craziest one, of course, Wright State beating Vandy 5-4. It's the first time ever the number 1 overall seed has failed to reach the regional final.
So now, tonight is a lot. Like tonight on Monday night is like the losers final, right? So I guess two teams make it out of each, or just one?
Just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
So that's 4 teams make the regional, yes. Right? If each,
and it's like a round. It's extremely weird. Like, it's hard to explain it.
I was curious on how many. I know Vandy has officially been eliminated.
Yeah. So,
how many of those like teams like Oregon and
so Vandy is out. Texas is out.
Which is 1 and 2, no?
I believe Texas might be out. I think there might be a game tonight.
For some reason, I had thought that
I know Oregon
teams make it out. It's like a double elimination type thing.
Yeah, it's really confusing. I know there's a bunch of game 7s tonight. it's just absurd what's going on in College World Series. But yeah, the format, if you're not following it consistently, it gets very confusing.
Right. Because I know it's regional.
Regional to super regional, which starts like the World Series, I believe.
Okay, yeah. I'm looking at it right now. Texas has officially been
Yeah,
eliminated. So has Vanderbilt. Um,
Oregon got eliminated, obviously, with 2 losses. Florida's been eliminated. Talked about them earlier.
Oregon got
But so
eliminated.
the two teams with just 1 loss face each other. So like
I see.
Tennessee and Wake Forest
So it
are
is
going to
double.
play
It's
the
just
night. It's double
the
elimination.
first team in the entire region to win 2 games,
Yeah,
essentially, is what
basically.
it is. Got
Basically.
it.
So
And
yeah,
if you lose two
it's
games, you're out.
yeah.
So okay, LSU, yeah, they're on the block, like you said. They have that rematch with
Little Rock,
Little Rock, Ole Miss,
Ole
number 10
Miss, Murray
overall.
State. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's that the Tennessee Wake Forest is going to be the craziest because Wake Forest has been absolute buzzsaw. Tennessee coming off defending champs last year. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Clemson also.
Yeah.
I'm looking at ranked teams that have been eliminated. Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, so the 12 Oregon, number 12 Oregon has been eliminated. Number 11 Clemson has been eliminated. Number 7 Georgia, which we talked about. Um, number 2 Texas and number 1 Vanderbilt
Yeah.
have all been eliminated.
It's absolutely crazy. And I got one more team to shout out. This team is probably the biggest winner of them all. LSU Shreveport College Baseball. Did you see this, dude? They went a perfect 59 and 0. They ended up securing the NAIA World Series title. They have 8 wins by 15 or more runs. I saw one box score is 42-7 was the final score. Their team batting average was 361, 2.38 ERA, 0.192 opponent batting average. So that is insane for college baseball because you see a lot of high 200s, high 300s.
That's insane that's insane, period.
Yeah.
That is extra insane in college baseball with metal bats, with like you said, a lot of good teams will have, 8 hitters hitting 310.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, dude, college baseball is hot right now. I know it's not a mainstream sport, but it is some fun baseball to be watching right now. If you're missing that urge, want a little more oomph in the games because it is so early in the MLB season. Tune into some college baseball because this year's been crazy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, for my winner, Sam, we're going to stick on the diamond. We are going to go up to the pros, though, because we have something historic on our hands. We have, in this 2025 season, the first catcher in MLB history to hit 22 plus home runs by June. And that is by Cal Raleigh, the catcher for the Seattle Mariners. However, he could just be a winner from his nickname alone, and that is the Big Dumper.
That's a crazy nickname.
There's an absolutely hilarious clip. He was on Mookie Betts' podcast. And he's talking about how'd you get the name Big Dumper? And he just goes, Jared Kalanick, who I believe now is on the Braves. He might have been sent down. He might have been cut. He was actually the Mets traded for Edwin Diaz. Fun fact of the day. But Jared Kalanick, he was in the Mariners system with Cal Raleigh, and they would just like telling him like, dude, you got a big butt, and then it turned into the nickname the Big Dumper.
There you go. Love it.
The Big Dumper. He is having an awesome season so far. He hit his 23rd home run last night on Sunday night. Best in the MLB. He was crowned He was crowned Player of the Week this past week, where he hit 349, I believe. With oh come on, I just had it up and then I lost it. But he had a great week, hitting well over 300 and multiple home runs this week. And yeah, I believe his season stat line is now he's hitting 269, 23 home runs, 45 RBI, leading the MLB. So you got to shout out the big dumper, because all you see, yes, Judge is having an incredible season. He's been unreal, hitting for average, hitting for power. Yes, of course, Ohtani is having a great season. All the big names you see as the MLB constantly tweets out about them, but the big dumper leads the MLB in home runs. And I'm in his his stat, he was 8 for 23. That's 348, 6 home runs, 10 RBI this past week. And yeah, he has been off to a red hot start. Again, most home runs in the MLB, despite what you see on a nightly basis from the MLB Twitter account, or X account, excuse me, with Judge and Ohtani. Big dumper.
Yeah, Big Dumper is absolutely raking, man. It's crazy for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But also to stay up in Seattle, a little mini winner. The Mariners are retiring some numbers, and two people actually shared a big time number in Mariners history, and they're both getting it retired. Same number, two people, and that's Ichiro and Randy Johnson. Each wore number 51 for the Mariners. That's getting retired. So
there you go.
Shout out the Mariners, who I believe actually, I was just about to say who I believe are leading the AL West, but I think the Astros actually just overtook them. So that's unfortunate. I'm double checking right now. Oh no, they took it back. They're a half game up on.
There you go.
They're a half game up on the Astros as of Monday. So shout out the Mariners. Shout out the big dumper. And yeah, I'll be in the AL West leading Mariners.
Yeah.
But of course, we will now take a look at the other side of the coin, Sam. Who is your loser of the week?
Yeah, my loser of the week is the NBA media. Of course, we all know the Thunder and the Pacers will be facing off in the NBA Finals. And I'm pretty sure no NBA media outlet wanted this. The only saving grace for the NBA media, I imagine, is Shea is the MVP. I would assume that is the case. I mean, Minnesota is a smaller market team, but they have Ant and such a big personality with him. I mean, and then of course New York. That's one of those teams, but it's so obvious. Like if you go to ESPN right now, the top headlines under their NBA section is 3 potential Cooper Flag trades the Mavericks might not immediately reject. The Suns head coach job down to Cavs Bryant. Jazz hires Ainge's son away from the C's as president. And then they show some love. Pacers, Walker's out 2 games in the finals. And the Thunder are minus 750 favorites. And that's kind of what's covered. And then, yeah, it's bad.
I think the best thing was Kevin Durant's tweet. You know, I'm pretty sure I've referenced it. But he had a tweet a while ago that said, "No one hates the NBA like NBA fans," or something along those lines of NBA fans really hate the NBA, and it's weird. It is weird. Look, obviously, I do not want this finals. I wanted the Knicks to be in the finals because I am a Knicks fan. But taking that out of it, I mean, as a Knicks fan, am I crazy excited to watch the finals? No, because I think we should have been there. But like, it's objectively an awesome matchup, man. Like, you know, you have the young names, Hallie versus Shea. You have the Pacers, who score a lot of points and are the best team. It's seemingly the best team in the NBA in transition. And if they aren't, the best then you would give that to the Thunder. You have two teams that like to get up, like play defense, force turnovers, get up and down the floor. You have teams that, like we said, play defense. You have, I believe it was since June or not June, excuse me, January. Since January, these are the best two teams in basketball, and they're playing in the finals. Like, this is awesome. But no, all we hear is, should the Knicks trade Cat? Like, obviously, I'm interested in that stuff. But leave New York outlets to do that stuff. ESPN, NBA should be doing keys for the Pacers to beat the Thunder, where they are huge underdogs. What do the Pacers need to do to win this series? Stuff with the Thunder, like, what do they need to do to take care of it? Like, there's none of that. There's some slight injury news, and then who the Suns are hiring, and who, like, the package the Knicks can put together for Giannis or KD. Dude, what?
One of the stories was Stephen A. Smith talking about how the Timberwolves should trade for KD.
Newsflash, bro. Timberwolves are done. So are the Knicks. We can talk about them in August.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have months of, Lord knows when the NBA free agency kicks off, that'll be the headline for a week.
Yeah.
We can talk about all those teams that didn't make it. That's fine. Not right now.
Yeah.
Not right now. And it's really frustrating in the ratings discourse. You know, this would be the lowest viewed.
Yeah.
Who cares, man? It's gonna be fun basketball. And it's one that I like I said, like, as a Knicks fan, am I excited to watch it? No, because I think we should have been there. But the minute the game one tips off, I'll be watching.
Yeah.
I'll be watching. But yeah, man, that's tough. And I also think that's like, I don't know if you had any more on the matchup or in the ratings.
Not really.
Just because I wanted to talk a little bit about, because your loser was NBA media. There's been a lot of backlash on NBA media with the Reggie Miller covering the series.
Yeah.
I want to get your thoughts on that, because I do have to.
I think it could have been a lot worse. I don't think, but I also I didn't even really think about it, to be honest. Like, obviously I knew the connection between, but him, like, actively cheering for the Pacers, like, after and on social media, like, it's weird. Like, I would prefer I don't think he's that good of a commentator to begin with, so I would prefer, but in that situation I would have liked to see someone else. But I'm sure you have more thoughts on that for sure.
Yeah. So I agree. I'm not the biggest fan of him in general as a commentator, but I thought he did a fine job this series. Like, to be honest, I don't think there was a moment where I was like watching the series being like, oh, you only say that because you're rooting for the pit. Like, I thought he did a fine job. And like the him actively rooting for the Pacers, like, obviously that's human. He played his whole career there. I just, like, maybe, like, when the NBA on TNT official account tweets him in the all black, and he says, like, oh, where to the funeral. Maybe, like, the fact that the official one tweeted that, it's a little. I mean, ideally, yes, they'd be impartial, but I don't think it showed through in his announcing, and like what he did when he was not announcing the game. Like, I don't think that really matters.
Yeah,
like the shirt, the fact that he wore black, like announcers wear black all the time.
Yeah, that's
and I'm sure he showed up. I'm sure like someone asked him, like, "Oh, are you wearing all black for the Knicks funeral?" And he's like, sure.
Yeah,
like
why not?
I would be very surprised if he was like, I'm wearing black today because it's good. Like, no,
it'd be interesting to see if he wore like a black suit for majority of his announcement.
Yeah, or like, oh, this one's blue. Oh, dude, the other, like, who cares? And I don't know if that was the take you were expecting, but like, and the fact that he was given out like the MVP trophy. I don't care at all, man.
Yeah,
it's a franchise great. This. They made the finals, like, for the first time in however many years since he was on the team, probably. Like,
yeah, I don't think it's as big of a deal Everybody's saying
And like, just look back exactly one calendar year when the game was on ESPN,
yeah.
and you had Stephen A. Smith's, top 5 keys for the Knicks to win this game without a peep for the Pacers.
Yeah.
It's just how it goes. Like, Stephen A. Smith covers the NBA. He covers the NBA for ESPN. He happens to be a Knicks fan. They play it on his network. He showed his fandom. Reggie Miller works for the NBA on TNT. They had the series. He's played his whole career with the Pacers. And he did a better job of hiding his fandom when covering the game
100%.
than Stephen A. did. Stephen A. didn't even care. He did it better. And it was when he was not covering or after the series was over when he was like, I had absolutely zero problem with it. And I think anyone who did is, a little bit of being a little salty because the Knicks lost, which is fair. That's sports fandom.
Yeah.
You're salty because the Knicks lost. I'm salty the Knicks lost. But taking the bias cap off, I had absolutely zero. But yeah, so that we wanted to talk about that a little bit. But for my loser, Sam, look, I'm pretty sure they've already been a loser, but I'm going to frame it a little bit differently. My loser just has to be insult stats because we got an influx of insult stats regarding one particular baseball team. And I'm sure you know who it is because I mentioned before the Mets swept the Rockies. That put the Rockies at 9-50. 9-50. A couple things here. Wins since September 22nd, 2024. September 22nd, 2024. So that's, for the Rockies, that is the 59 games this year and about 10 games last year. So that's about 70 baseball games. They have 10 wins.
It's pretty
10
good.
wins.
There you go.
The Denver Broncos also had 10 wins. And the Denver Broncos played 18 games?
Yeah. I know there's
Did they make the
18
playoffs?
week.
Because it was 17 regular season, but did they make the playoffs? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
But also, I guess September 22nd, it might be excluding week 1.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's about a seventh one, or no, it's about 1/10 of the games. Or no, the other way. About 1/5 of the games played in NFL games as MLB games, and they have the same number of wins. And the kicker, road wins, Broncos 4, Rockies 3.
Yeah, that's not good.
3 road wins. And then the worst insult stat, wins since May 4th. Which is a little bit of an arbitrary date, but it fits the narrative, so we'll go with it. It's most of the month of May. Since May 4th, the Colorado Rockies have won 3 games. Scotty Scheffler has won 3 tournaments.
Yeah, that's tough. That's really freaking tough.
The date of recording is June 2nd, so that is about a month, which is about 4 weeks.
That's
tough. So that's only 4 chances for Scotty Scheffler to win, and he's won 3. The Rockies, since May 4th, have played more than 4 games and have won 3.
Yeah, that's tough. It's tough being a Colorado Rocky player, fan, GM. It's just all downhill for the Rockies.
And the worst part about it, man, is that I guess I don't know if it's the worst part. It's not like it's a White Sox or a Marlins situation where they just refuse to spend money. Yeah. Now, they don't spend money like the Yankees, Dodgers, Mets, obviously. But, they signed Nolan Arenado to a long-term deal and then immediately traded.
Yeah.
They signed Chris Bryant, one of the biggest free agents that was there. It's just terrible decisions.
Yeah.
And, it's something a bunch of their front office has been there since the team started in the 90s. It's really bad. It's really bad. And I don't know if it's a good thing that they're at least willing to spend money. They just need it to be on the right people. So eventually they'll hire the right person to make those decisions. Or you can be like, it's not an easy fix. Like, hey, just spend some money and we'll be there. Because obviously the people making those decisions are not very smart on who they're spending that money on.
Yeah.
And it's just so bad.
Yeah. So for a little more context, they played 25 games from May 4th to June 1st. And some of the games are really sad to look at, but yeah, crazy. 3-22.
Is that good?
It's pretty good.
You'd think. Yeah, it's the worst start. The worst start in MLB history, I'm sure, as you can imagine, through 59 games. Last year, the White Sox were already in the mid-teens. The Rockies have 9. And the White Sox obviously set the record for worst. They set the record for the worst record in the modern era last year. And tonight on Monday, they're playing the Marlins. Already historically the Marlins, bad team in Miami, already a pretty poor, attendance place. Now the Rockies are coming into town and it is raining in Miami. They do have the game's going to play.
Yeah.
But obviously baseball is a game that when it's a nice day, you go enjoy the weather, watch a ball game. I have a screenshot here of the attendance. It was tweeted at 5:38 p.m. 5:38 p.m. Central.
So a couple minutes ago.
Yes, 8 minutes ago for when we're recording. But I'm trying to figure out when their game is. 5:38 Central. The game started. The game was at the game started at 5:40 Central. So this was 7 minutes before first pitch. Take a look at that attendance there.
Oh,
and I'm wondering if we could get this on the YouTube if I send it to you.
Yeah.
Photo credit. I mean, it was Isaac Azout. I don't know. Azout. Sorry, Isaac, if I'm
pronouncing it. Check out the Twitter. We'll retweet it there.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, that is the tweet. So,
I mean, ticket prices aren't bad.
I just shared it with you.
Perfect.
But
ticket prices aren't bad though.
Ticket prices probably not bad, but it is the most empty stadium you'll ever see right at about first pitch. Really tough stuff.
Second row behind home plate still absurd, but baseline you can get first baseline not right up against it, but behind you can get for $12 a pop.
Jeez, really tough stuff. And I don't know what it is, man, because small market teams have always struggled to spend with the big market teams in baseball. I don't know why all of a sudden it's become historically bad.
Yeah.
It just has. I don't know if it's the fact that contracts are at an all-time high. Like Soto's getting $765 million. So that's just immediately the small market teams are just like, nope.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy.
It's bad. It is really, really bad. But yeah.
Weird. I think that's like the 4th time the Rockies have been a loser this year.
And it's just, I really wish we could say, like, specifically, like, Rockies fans, crunch time with the M3. This podcast is a safe space. You can come here and be be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
This is strictly to embarrass ownership, the front office.
Oh yeah,
and
we stand with the fans.
We stand with the fans always. We stand with White Sox fans. We stand with Rockies. White Sox fans, you had okay. We stand with last year of being coddled. This year is the Rockies' turn to be coddled because it just sucks.
Yeah,
it just sucks.
I will. Yeah, with the White Sox, it's definitely towards ownership because they got a whole nother issue for sure.
No doubt about it. But are you ready to talk about the Eastern Conference?
Are you ready?
No. But I guess we have to. I believe what? So we were only 4 games in, right? So we had not played game 5 the last time we recorded. Game 5, we could talk about that real quick in the Garden, and the Knicks took care of business.
Yeah, I mean, they took care of business. Was this a game Cat kind of went crazy, or was this? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. So, well, Cat had 24. He had 24, 13, and 13, and was a plus 26 in the plus.
Yeah.
Minus. So Cat was very good in this game.
Yeah. It's all coming together. Yeah. The Knicks just could not miss this game. It seemed like.
They did shoot well, and I think the key here is this was the game where Halliburton did not play.
Yeah, for sure.
2 for 7 from the field, 8 points, minus 23 on the plus minus. The starters were crazy. Pascal was -1, and then Nesmith, Turner, Nembhard, and Halliburton were all minus 28 or worse.
Stuff.
And then topping off the bench was minus 26. So it was definitely one of those. It was similar. I just got reminded of the Knicks Celtics game 5, when the Knicks went up 3-1. And then game 5 went back to Boston, and then they just shot the ball well. You knew they weren't going on without a fight at home, and everything just seemed to click. And that's what happened for
sure.
But then we move on to game 6, and things did not click for the Knicks in game 6. Indiana ends up closing the series with a 125-108 victory.
Yeah, man. This game was tough to watch if you're a Knicks fan for sure. It just seemed for majority of the game, the Pacers' pace was just too much for this Knicks team. They were just getting easy layups off of scored baskets. Just locking up their Brunson. I think he finished with 4 to 8 points in the fourth quarter. Andrew Nembhard. It seemed every game this series, some random Pacers player stepped up big time. This game, it was Nembhard. Now on the offense end, he wasn't phenomenal, but the defensive end, he wreaked havoc on Jalen Brunson. He had 6 steals, took a headbutt by Jalen Brunson, just made him extremely uncomfortable, and it led to easy buckets on the other end. And that's kind of what I'm looking at here. Just the defense and the pace of the Pacers were just caught up to Knicks late in this series.
Yeah, without question. I was looking for the tweet and I found it. In this series, the Indiana Pacers. Take a guess. So 2 numbers. It's a plus minus for the Pacers in transition and off turnovers. So what do you think the Pacers were versus the Knicks in transition? How many points?
How many points?
How many points did they score in transition?
So it's plus. Okay.
It's a plus minus, but it's taking out how many the Knicks scored in transition. So it's a net. They were net what?
42.
They were plus 46 in game 6.
Oh!
They were plus, which game 6 they did particularly dominate the Knicks, so the series isn't that multiplied by 6.
Yeah.
But they were plus 79 or excuse me, they were plus 79 off turnovers, and they were plus 80 in transition. And they had 46, excuse me, they were not plus 46 in transition. They had 46 transition points. So the Knicks, had some as well that took the plus minus down. But 46 transition points in Game 6, plus 80 in transition for the series, plus 79 off turnovers.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not a recipe to win series.
Yeah.
For the New York.
Yeah, it was. I texted you. I was like, dude, I've never seen it. Now, if you look at the box score, you see Indiana outscored the Knicks in the fourth quarter, 33-31. It was not that way. If you watch a game, I mean, it was. There were like stretches where the Knicks couldn't even come close to scoring, and Tyrese Halliburton would just outlet it to Siakam, and he'd kick it to Neesmith or Nimhart, and they'd have an open through, or Obi Toppin gets a lob from Tyrese Halliburton. Halliburton hits a crazy running floater thing that he does that he simply can't miss. The Pacers had one of the best quarters I've seen in a very long time in a basketball game in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like we said, like it was clear to me, clear what should be to everyone, is that the better team won this series. I mean, once the Pacers got healthy in January, once Halliburton came back, once Miles Turner came back, they were the best team in the Eastern Conference. And they showed that. And I would say to this point, they have played the best and the most consistent in the playoffs. Now, I do believe the Thunder are hitting their stride now and are a better team overall than the Pacers, but the Pacers have been the most consistent team in 100%. The playoffs. And from top to bottom, defensively, offensively, in transition, just true shooting, effort, depth, the Pacers were the better team than the Knicks. That is very clear, and it sucks because I think the Knicks should have had the talent to beat the Pacers. A lot of everything that I said about this was the vision about their starting lineup went away. The Pacers were just better. They forced Jalen Brunson. He was very uncomfortable all series long. They were physical on the ball, like, and that frustrated Brunson. Josh Hart. He was taken out of the starting lineup. He had some wrist issues with his shooting, whatever. Josh Hart was pretty much a non-factor. I mean, Cat had his stretches, but at times, he was really frustrated against Miles Turner.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really happy for Miles Turner. Like, what was it last year when the Pacers got good again, went to the conference finals, obviously. Conference semifinals last year, beat the Knicks, went to the conference finals. I was legitimately like, oh, he's still on the Pacers. I didn't know that because they had some dark times when he was there, and obviously they turned it around. So it's top to bottom. I cannot say, like, obviously the last episode I said I hate the Pacers from a sports hate. Absolutely, let's go Thunder. I hope they smash the crap out of the Pacers. But from a basketball standpoint, I could not sing higher praises. I cannot sing higher praises of the Pacers, man, because they were the better team on every facet of the game.
For sure.
Now, I don't know what the offseason holds. Obviously, we just got done talking about how outlets should have more finals stuff, and we're about to talk about the Knicks' future. Final stuff next.
Yeah.
Final stuff next. But I'm a Knicks fan. I'm allowed to do it. I genuinely don't know. I don't really understand why people are turning on Cat at all. I mean, his defense is an issue. We known this. That wasn't like
it's an issue since he started in the league, right?
It was an issue. He was in Kentucky. I mean, like, you think like there's no one who Knicks traded for Cat and be like, oh, we're gonna be the best defensive team. Like,
yeah.
What? The whole point was you sacrificed some defense and you went and got out an offensive first big that you can supplement with Mitch, who is a very good shot blocker, very good rebounder, and that becomes a very good one-two punch from the big man position. I don't understand turning on Cat. I would love for Cat to be a Knick next year. However, if the opportunity presents itself to trade Cat for Giannis or KD or one of these big time superstars that are available, then I'm listening.
Yeah.
But I don't think trade Cat just to trade Cat. No, absolutely not. I thought he had a new dynamic to this team. He was a little inconsistent, but that's Cat. We all know we know that. And I think they just simply ran into a better, deeper team. I think the bench is a big issue. I know some Thibodeau things. I will continue to be confused and conflicted about Tom Thibodeau. But the bench is a big time issue. And they definitely have some improvements to do this offseason. But I'm certainly not blow it up, trade Cat, trade whatever. No, I think this team is very good. You just need to round out the edges.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, any other thoughts on the Eastern Conference Finals? The Pacers moving on to the Pacers.
No, man. It's going to be a fun NBA Finals series. I know, as I said previously, a lot of NBA media is not too fond of this matchup, but it's the best of the best. Young talent in this league. Two teams have never had this opportunity. There's so many. Paul George basically built both of these teams. So shout out PG for that one. So many storylines that are going to be overlooked because they are two small market teams, and it kind of pisses me off, Tanner.
I was going to say, I think four groups of people are ones that are allowed to not look forward to this finals. Knicks fans and Timberwolves fans, for obvious reasons. I think Clippers fans, because this is the Paul George. I think Clippers fans. I don't even count 76. No, you knew what Paul George you were getting. And then I'm also putting Kings fans in there for trading Halliburton.
Yeah,
I'm throwing Kings fans in there. You're tough. Allowed to not do that because that would suck to watch a guy you had.
Yeah,
lead a team to the final. But that's if you're not one of those four fans and you're not looking forward to this finals, I think my opinion of you is that you're a loser.
And you don't like basketball.
Which would make you a loser in my opinion.
It's true.
So, yeah. That is what we had to say about the finals. But Sam, are you ready for a Gimme 5?
Yeah, man, let's get to it.
So we mentioned this one. This one could have a lot of potential answers because we are going with Gimme 5 nostalgic things. Could go any way with this. Any way you want. Nostalgic things. But Sam, you do have the first pick this time. 1-1. We had some fireworks last 1-1. Will we have them again? What's your 1-1? Nostalgic things.
Wow. This is kind of a lot of pressure because it is so broadly based. But I think I got to go with this one. Watching to see if your school was closed on a snow day in the early morning news.
Watching the news. Guess what? On the list.
Yeah,
it's on the list. And we also would get sometimes we would get calls.
Yeah.
So there were times second grade when I'd wake up at 5-6 in the morning whenever the call comes through, and I'd just be like, please God, mate, let that be, and then I'd wake up again, it'd be 9, and I'd be like, yeah. And you come downstairs and your mom would be like, oh, it's actually a 2-hour delay, and you're like,
yeah.
Great pick.
Did y'all get a lot of snow days in New York?
We did, because the problem was we would get more snow days when it was the icier conditions as opposed to just snow. Yeah. But also the problem was the big problem in New York is that all of our power lines are above ground. So when trees and crap would get snow on them and branches would fall, they would cut out power and they would knock lines from the road, and that would be an issue. So
gotcha.
we did, but We also got a lot of snow. So
yeah, people can deal with it, unlike down in Arkansas where there's a chance you're probably getting shut down. But it kind of sucks for the kids now because now like they have like we had cyber days that would count as a school day, and it was like 10 times harder than just going to school.
You said you did?
Yeah, we did.
Really? We had none of the sorts.
Really?
No cyber days.
Yeah, it was more in high school. So, but yeah.
Yeah, no, we didn't have.
And it's crazy because we didn't have school computers.
You had to use your own computer?
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Like school issue computers to me in high school is bonkers.
Yeah, for sure.
Bonkers.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my one. I think everybody has experienced it, so definitely had to play in that.
Yeah, no doubt. For me, my once similar vibes. We're going to school. But this was the indication that your next 40 minutes to an hour, however long your periods were that this was going to be awesome. And that is the TV on the roller cart.
Yeah.
When that thing, and it had to have also, it had the like the ratchet straps, down the side that would keep it down. It had, it was the big box TV that had the VHS thing on the bottom. That when that came in, and it was always sometimes you'd come and it'd be sitting there and you'd be like, oh yes, but sometimes like it would roll in while you're sitting down, and like you would be surprised by it. And it would just top 10 surprise of all time. The TV
elite,
the TV elite with the roller cart, that
pick.
To me is number one. And then so that's my 1-1. Then my 1-2, I'm gonna follow it up, also school related. So many of mine are school related. It's just like it is what it is. But because you do that after you ate some of the most delectable top tier cuisine, and that is the square pizza. We all had it. We all did. And square pizza with a little milk carton, the square pizza was the it was just the best. It was the best. And I believe our school was Friday pizza days.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah.
It always came with the milk, corn, and peaches. That was every Friday.
I can't remember the sides, but it definitely came.
And some of the juice, sometimes a Minute Maid frozen juice bar. If they're feeling fancy, dude. It's snazzy.
Did you have a chocolate milk option, or was it just?
We had chocolate milk and vanilla, maybe strawberry.
I don't think we had strawberry.
We definitely had vanilla or regular and chocolate.
Yeah. So did we. Yeah, but the little milk carton.
So good.
It was like, it felt like you were doing origami when you were like
opening. Oh yeah, dude. It's absurd.
So some people would open it all the way from all.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's wild, dude.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm going with the square pizza.
Of course, I had that on my list for sure. For me, I'm gonna step out of the school zone. I'm gonna go open world websites. I'm talking Club Penguin. I'm talking Webkins. And the most underrated of them all, Pop Trop.
Really good.
Yeah, you like that?
I remember one year, I forget what the holiday was, what the occasion was, but I got a premium subscription to Club Penguin.
Oh
man, dude, I was the drippiest penguin in the world. I had what were the
not Puffs?
Puffles, because you could have two colored Puffles for free. Dude, I had all the rainbow of the Puffles. My crib was tricked out.
Lit. Oh yeah, dude.
Oh my goodness, man. Oh, and then when you had enough of it, you'd go in. If you were okay just getting banned, you go in, you say a curse word.
Dude,
and then you get
crazy. The pizza game that they had was electric. There was like a spy game you could do. Just absolutely electric stuff, dude.
somebody with like two
Sledding?
sledding.
Yeah, tube is like tube racing.
That go over the like little jumps and
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
dude.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
Electric
That was
stuff.
my down slope for sure. That's so good. I wasn't too much of a Webkins guy.
I put up
You were the
numbies.
Webkins guy.
I was, oh,
Not to say I didn't have them, because I did. But I was definitely more of a Club Penguin guy, and then the Pop Tropica, dude.
what's underrated, dude?
That website. What was it? It was part of like it was owned by the entity that owned Pop Tropica also had like math games.
Yeah,
Because of that, our
it
computers
wasn't blocked on your school computers.
computers at school it was not blocked. So yeah,
Love
Pop
that.
Tropica would get tons of run. Because you're looking for the keys, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Electric stuff.
Yeah. That's good.
Oh, it's my pick.
It's your pick
dude.
again, man.
Oh man, so many options. I'm gonna go back to school grounds. When your mom brought you lunch to school.
Yeah, when you forgot it.
Absolutely. That, or if she brought you like McDonald's. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah. When that went down, you were the coolest kid in the lunchroom, and everyone wanted to be you in that moment. So that is my third pick.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if I should go away. Okay. I'm gonna step away. There are a bunch of different things I could go. I'm gonna go with the one that is the most nostalgic for me. GameCube. I'm going GameCube. I could have gone Game Boy. There are a bunch of different ones I could have gone, but specifically, like I'm going GameCube, but specifically the, when you're loading in. I could just let. All the Mario games, specifically Mario Baseball, Mario Kart. Because what GameCube was Double Dash, I believe.
Double Dash.
Double Dash was on GameCube. Super Monkey Ball.
Super Monkey Ball.
Legendary.
Electric.
I had a Need for Speed
on
the GameCube. Of course you had like your Maddens at that point.
Yeah.
I had like 2K, MLB 2K6, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it was MLB Show 6, I can't remember. But all the sports games, but specifically, man, those Mario games. I had a Mario Party on the GameCube.
Elite stuff.
Just the GameCube, so ahead of its time. Such a good console. The games were so fire. And then number 4, we're going back to the school grounds. I'm gonna go with the Scholastic Book Fair.
Yep, that was on my list. Was on my list.
I felt like I was an entrepreneur pitching in front of the Sharks, trying to figure out what I wanted to spend my money on. Like it wasn't the same thing every time.
Yep.
Like I didn't leave there with whatever book they had about the NFL.
Yeah.
Like it would always be like NFL quarterbacks, and I would just pick it because I don't want to read about. Why do I want to read about Sharks when I can read about quarterbacks? A poster, always a poster.
Yep.
Oh man, always a poster. And then one of the pencils or pens that was great, like pencil with a little. I remember one. It was like incredibly long, like flimsy pencil.
Yeah,
I thought it was the coolest thing ever. They used to have these pointers, like it was like probably yay big, 2 or 3 feet. No, not 3 feet. It wasn't that big. It was maybe 2 feet. And then on the end, it had like a cartoon, like white hand that was just pointing, like a plastic. Like,
yeah. You know
what I'm talking
about?
Yeah. And I remember, and they used to, so we'd get the teachers would get those for their,
of course.
On the,
the
Scholastic Book Fair.
Scholastic Book Fair. That's a pull.
Felt like a damn entrepreneur.
For real. I mean, Electric stuff, dude. Electric stuff.
I guess I also used to get in so much trouble because I would sometimes I would like the NFL book. That was like a that was a um oh, what's the word I'm looking for? It was a that was a formality just
Yeah.
because I need to get a book. Sometimes I didn't even bother with that. And
I'd go with the Mike Lupica books
oh yeah,
every
of
once in
course.
a while. When Tiki and Rondé Barber had their like two books kick off.
Broke his leg riding bikes.
Electric, dude. Electric
Dude,
stuff.
that book was a meme in my childhood in our house, dude. Because it was like they were like 4 years old and they were like riding and he broke his leg and then one was like, "You're never gonna play football again." They're like 4 years. They're like 8 years old riding bikes. Like I think it'll be fun.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a good pick for sure. Oh man, there's still so much up on the board, you know. Oh, where do I go, man? I mean, I think this is kind of for our generation. This was an epidemic within the school halls, and that is, of course, the infamous silly bands.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
silly bands took over
Oh yeah,
our school.
same here.
Like it got so bad to where like people would like have a arm sleeve of silly bands and they like banned it from our school.
Off circulation.
Dude, it was a shit.
Yeah,
You,
no,
and
they were cool.
and like if you got like the newest edition of them, you were the hottest shit.
Do you have them?
I did have
Yeah, I
some.
did too.
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
Oh,
like
it was absurd.
I had a few of just like the when they were first came, like the just like it was like this one's a dog, but then I had I had Mets ones where
Yeah.
Mets logo, and then I had yeah I had general baseball ones, I had football one, yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
Dude, silly bands are still around.
No way.
Silly bands online. Your fun shaped, colorful bracelets. The Kardashians have it.
Like they own it or they have
They have like a thing of
they did like a
a
partnership
collab.
collab. There you go.
No way. iCarly, Justin Bieber. Wow.
Uh,
I would have bet a
Shouldn't
lot
you
of.
do like custom ones now,
Oh,
right?
I'm sure. I'm sure. But yeah,
Wow, this is
silly
crazy.
bands.
Spongy silly bands.
Oh
I'd
yeah.
rock some SpongeBob silly
Oh
bands.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, silly bands. I mean, I feel like everybody had that.
Of course.
Now,
Last one.
oh, I'm between two. I gotta go with the place to be on a Friday night. Blockbuster.
Oh yeah.
Blockbuster was the best. Renting, whether you were renting a movie, renting a video game, I was always renting video games. It was absolutely electric. Rented for a week, grind it out over the weekend, come back Friday, get a new one. Blockbuster, man, the best.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, the obviously blockbusters went, it was well documented how they went obsolete, but I remember ours went like it was really early on when it
Yeah,
closed. Like it was one of the first to close.
tough.
But yeah, no, we had it for sure. But yeah, the Friday night, rent a video game, rent a couple movies for the weekend.
They always had the pickle in a bag, which who's eating that?
Like at the front counter.
Yeah, like so ours, I don't know if yours was set up, but it'd be like all the rows, and then in the front was like a candy stand that you'd like see at movie theater, just like any candy you could possibly think of. And in it, they had a dill pickle pouch.
Huh. Like I know the exact thing you're talking.
Yeah,
To be honest, like ours closed so early on that like I don't remember the layout. Like that, like
really.
it closed so early.
Ours was massive. It's now a Mattress Firm, which it
Oh,
makes me sad every time I drive by it. But
yeah, I remember the shopping center it was in. Um, but yeah, like it. I mean, do you have an approximate how long ago yours closed?
probably like when I was in fifth or sixth grade. So that was when we were like 12. So
Yeah, like 2010 ish.
yeah.
Yeah, because I think ours was gone in like 07, 08. This is just based on my memory as an 8 year old, 10 year old.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it felt like it was so long ago to the point where I don't even remember it. But I do remember what the shopping center it was in, and now it is. I mean, I don't remember what it is. Like, it could be anything. Like, it's probably a pizza place if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Which, but yeah, that is definitely a good one, and that leaves me with a couple. All right, I got it. I think I'm going with it, and I don't even need a picture of this thing because I think you guys all know what it is. That one rug with the streets on it, and like it had the police station
Oh yeah.
and a hospital
Oh yeah.
and the houses. That one rug we all had. That was a community.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's what I'm going with.
That is nostalgic for sure. Holy crap. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
That's
so
really good.
that's the one I'm going with. I think my cousins might have it.
Yeah.
Which is very non-zero chance it's ours that
Yeah.
sent them. But yeah, dude, we all had it. We all know the one. But Sam, hit me with your give me 5 nostalgic things.
Yeah, man. Kicked it off with watching to see if your school's closed on a snow day. Some open world websites. Then we got when your mom brought you lunch at school. Um, Silly Bands and Blockbuster.
Now, question: did you ever not do your homework in anticipation of a snow day?
Oh yeah.
And did it ever backfire on you?
Um, probably, probably, but it was like if there was even a chance of snow, we weren't going. So I had a little security knowing that in my back pocket, but
For sure, for sure. Um, I did that all the time, and it did. Sorry, mom. But yeah, my give me 5 TV on the roller cart, electric day,
electric.
square pizza for lunch, pizza Fridays, of course. The GameCube, you know, fire games, the load in. The Scholastic Book Fair, budgeting your money, the best. And then number 5, that one rug we all had with the roads, the hospital, the community. We all know it.
Yeah.
That is my give me 5. But you got any
Oh boy, do
honorable
I,
mentions?
man. I'll just go down my list. First one, playing video games at Walmart. Where you
Walmart
have to like
GameStop.
break your neck.
The controller is on like a it's on like a I don't you know the exact type of tubing they have around it.
Yep.
And yeah, you were looking all the way up.
Yep.
And
Get lost. Oh yeah. That just disappeared for some reason.
yeah, why did we stop?
Why?
Why did we stop allowing us to play video
Yeah.
games in Walmart?
Unreal. Then we got some video games. Mario Kart, Double Dash. That was on my list. You talked about that. The Nintendo DS.
Yeah,
I mean,
oh yeah.
You were lit if you had a DS. The chat rooms, of course. MW2 and Black Ops. Those are the two I grew up on. Wii Sports. Game websites. By that, I'm talking addicting games and mini clip.
The amount of time, the amount of I would put up on the Apple shooter game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Electric. There was
Bike
also
race.
one.
I would go crazy on bike race.
There's also one called Candy Stand. I don't know if you ever played that. It was like it had one particular game that I played, and uh it was
Yes, candy stand.
it was what's a mince? Lifesavers mini golf.
I
That is
would
what I
play.
played.
I would do the Wrigley's.
Wrigley's, yep,
Wrigley's
that was a big
horse.
sponsor.
Wrigley's horse.
Yeah.
You play against computer.
Oh,
I would
yeah.
do the craziest trick. I'd launch it in the air, and it would go back and forth, and I'd hope it'd go in. Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Candy stand. After school TV shows, like I feel like we've kind of talked about a lot of these. I mean, Drake and Josh, Joey 101, Victoria, Sweet Life, Wizards. You all know the deal.
Nickelodeon, Disney Channel type. I had on there, so I had Disney Channel, but I had it in my mind specifically just like, I'm whoever,
and Cole Sprouse,
and you're watching Disney Channel. Dun 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 dun. This is the sound of it. Draw the Mickey Mouse ears. Dun,
Yeah,
dun, 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 dun.
absolutely. First gen iPod Touch.
Yeah, I love the color when they came out the colors. Was it
Yeah.
Nano maybe?
But iPod Nanos, of course.
Came out the colors. I had a lime green one.
There you go.
That's fresh.
The iPod games are you can still play these, but they're definitely nostalgic for me. Doodle Jump, Jetpack Joyride, Temple Run, YouTube videos like Charlie Brittany, Duck Song, Fred, Annoying Orange.
Oh, Fred.
Now this is one I don't know a lot of people are doing now. Disc delivery. By that I mean when Netflix delivered games via mail.
Yeah, we didn't really do that. We didn't do the mail Netflix.
It's definitely niche for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the commercial.
Yeah,
like that in GameFly.
that was also one I had on there. Yep. Then I had the Razor scooter. The
ankle torture.
The ankle torture.
That was so fun. I mean, it was still so worth it to do those tricks, even if you might get your leg amputated.
For sure.
It's so cool. And obviously, I had the silver one with. I know the exact one you're talking about. And I had one. My brother had one.
Oh yeah, you had to if you wanted to be cool. Then we got Scooby Doo Blue Gummy. I mean, who could forget that? Bagel Bites, I know they're still around, but that's just straight nostalgia.
And I know we're aligned on this. If you were a pizza roll over a bagel bite guy,
that's crazy.
Bagel bites were the best.
Elite.
The best.
Capri Sun is another one. Yeah.
Crazy.
Then I'll just run through these real quick. Vine.
Yeah, of course.
Christmas mornings as a kid.
Oh God.
The school party.
The pizza.
Oh yeah. Prank calling, because that was the funnest thing on when you're hanging out with your boys. This one is very odd. Like, why did I think of this? But the sticky hands toy.
Oh,
like the one where you launch it and then stick. Catching the top 10 before leaving for school. Early out Fridays. I don't know if you had those, but like once a month we just get out at like 12:15. Damn, that sucks for you. When you got your first phone, and then my final one is.
Remember your first phone?
Don't remember the name of it, but you could flip it open and it'd be a keyboard, or you could flip it up and you could type.
Like it was like electric keyboard.
It was like an oval, almost, or like a cylinder. I don't even know what shape it was.
Like did like if you flipped it this way, like it was an electric keyboard that would flip with your orientation.
No, it was two separate ones. So like you would flip it up and there'd be that, or you could slide it up and it'd be like just numbers. Yeah, it's kind of swaggy. I ain't gonna lie.
Samsung Juke.
Nice.
The one that was like supposed to be very tailored to music, and it's like half an inch wide,
Yeah.
and it flipped open. I had a
But
red one. I had a red one.
last one. The movie theater kid tray. Yes, sir.
You know, because at the movie theater here, they advertise
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh, absolutely electric stuff. Your popcorn, your soda or
Get
icy,
a little candy.
and then candy. Absolutely electric. But yeah, those are uh some of my honorable mentions. I know I had a lot, but
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot too. So I had, you know, in class the clear paper projector. You know, where they like they'd hand out all the worksheets, and then the teacher would have one on a clear piece of paper, and they'd write with like a dry erase
the
marker on it.
worst. Especially when your teacher couldn't write at all. Oh, that
And then that evolved into the next evolution, which I don't know if they still use them, but smartboards. Do you guys have
oh
smartboards?
yeah. They never worked.
The amount of times I had to, because of course the teacher couldn't be bothered to do the calibration, so they'd always choose on a student to go and calibrate it.
Yeah.
And for a while, I was fairly tall for my age, so I would have to do it because I was the only one that could reach the top. Um,
That's awesome.
but so I don't even know if they like do we are smartboards still, or do they just like use?
I would doubt it.
What's like the newest technology? But like
I don't know.
like a presentation, like I feel like smartboards are way better than like let's say if they set up a TV. Like you could, it's a touchscreen TV that freaking rocks.
Yeah. That is a good. Yeah, I'm curious now.
Yeah, like what are the next evolution? That would be interesting to see. But yes, the smartboards were incredible. But of course it started with that damn projector with the clear piece of paper. I've also got like your educational programming, Bill Nye the Science Guy,
Course.
and then Brain Pop.
Brain Pop, of course.
With Moby. Was it Moby
Moby.
the robot?
Moby.
I don't remember what was the main guy.
Couldn't die.
Toby and Moby.
Honestly, it might have.
Yeah, look it up for me real quick. But I do know it was Moby
yes, sir.
the robot. The Space Maker pencil box.
Oh yeah, the hard
like, and it was hard, and it had like bubbles.
Bubbles.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was called Space Maker. Which I did have to Google what was that pencil box we all had. You know, like
it was. Yep,
this one
is Moby, and no way is Moby and Minnie Mo. No
way.
Moby and Tim.
Tim, that's what it was, not Toby.
This was the phone I had.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so it didn't slide up. It was
it had
that, yeah, and then you flipped it. It's lit.
Got it. So yeah, the Space Maker pencil box.
That's a good one. You really focused on the whole school thing, didn't you?
No, it just we got the rainbow scooters, in gym class.
Oh, the worst when you got ran over though.
Yep, it was the Razor scooters, right?
Yeah,
they were great. You hit your ankle, you're done for.
Oh yeah,
those scooters were great. You run over your finger, you're done for. Give me like instant messaging, like websites, I guess, like AOL instant message and Uvu. Did you ever use Uvu?
No, never used.
Really?
Whatever
it's essentially just like Skype, but it was like video and IM messaging. And yeah, use those all the time. Like the toys, like Lincoln Logs. I was an absolute architect.
There you go.
Logs. Then you had all the fad toys, like remember Tamagotchi?
Yeah.
Those.
I did not. I know what they are.
And then all like the trading cards when you were young.
Oh yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. They're still pretty with kids today, but obviously I know when we were young. Yeah, dude, that's That's where I was sitting with mine.
Nice.
Very school heavy, dude.
Yeah.
Very school heavy. But did you
Yeah,
ever
man.
have to like in school, like when you go to a friend's house, like to ride their bus? You have a bus pass?
We have buses.
Ah,
We were bougie.
ah.
Yep. We did not have bus passes because there was no bus.
I tell you, man, when you go to someone's house and you get a bus pass and you were first off, the minute school ended, it was the best in the world. Going to a friend's house, you're on their bus, dude. When you were on their bus, you first off, you were the king of the hill because you were the new guy.
Yeah.
But it was literally a whole new world, man. Like
Yeah.
you had a status quo, you had seat assignments. It was like
Yeah.
wow, yeah, it was crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's
Um,
crazy.
That's our give me five, man. I thought it was a pretty good one.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of answers, a lot of varying answers coming out with something so open ended. But you got any final thoughts on the episode?
Man, it was a fun one. Sports are unfortunately slowing down, but we'll still be kicking out a lot of content for y'all. But we still got the NBA finals. Obviously, MLB is going to go on for another like 8 months. But we'll be giving y'all the best for sure.
No doubt about it. But make sure to follow the podcast on X, TikTok, and Instagram at crunchtime_pod. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube Crunch Time with the N32620. That'll do it for episode 172. Clock cars are not on this episode, and we'll see you in the next one on Crunch Time.
Yeah.